you can count on. KOAT Action 7 News at 6 starts right now.
It is a first since New Mexico County started on the color tier system. No counties in the red. Good evening, I'm Ron Burke, in for Doug.
And I'm Brittany Hope, in for Shelley. 17 counties have advanced to a less restrictive level. Here you can see the turquoise or most open level. 13 out of 33 counties are at this level. That does include Santa Fe and several others listed here who have made the jump.
10 counties are in the green, including Guadalupe, which was in red just 2 weeks ago. 10 are also in yellow. That includes Bernalillo, which was yellow last time as well. We have team coverage for you this evening with the Department of Health giving an update on our COVID situation. Nancy Laughlin will have more on that.
But first, Brandon Evans is live with a look at how businesses are reacting to the latest county update. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Ron and Brittany, with a number of counties turning turquoise, businesses in the state's most populated county were at least hoping that they could go green, but that was not the case. Today I spoke with retailers and restaurants across Albuquerque. They are able to operate in a limited capacity in the yellow phase, but I also spoke with one business owner. He's the president of Everybody Votes. Now, it's a merchandise shop that also signs people up, registers them to vote. Now, he's closed shop completely since last March, and he has not reopened. Now, here's what he said today when he learned that Bernalillo County was not going green.
Since we are staying in yellow, we are going to continue to be closed. I just don't see that it is worth the risk of getting someone sick or getting sick myself. Although I do believe we have some very important elections coming up. We would like to be open, yet patience is a virtue, and I think it's worth making sure that everybody is safe.
Now, you heard him mention election season, which is not that far away, which is why he hopes in 2 weeks that Bernalillo County is able to get to green. He can open up and then start registering people to vote. We're live in Albuquerque. Brandon Evans, KOAT Action 7 News.
Red, yellow, green, and turquoise. It is a lot to remember. So let's break down those categories again for you. Take a look here at your screen. First, red. This is the most restrictive phase. It means no indoor dining and only 25% outdoor. But remember, no New Mexico counties fall on this level as of today. It's good news. Yellow, which most of the state remains in, allows for 33% indoor dining and 75% outdoor. Dining goes up to 50%. Entertainment venues can start letting people inside up to 25%. Bars and clubs can open, but outdoor only. And finally, the last level right now is turquoise. Again, that does now include Santa Fe. It allows for 75% capacity for indoor and outdoor dining. Bars can also welcome people inside at this level.
So cases staying low in New Mexico with 218 new cases reported, with that overall total now at over 190,000. There were also 6 more deaths, bringing that total closer to 4,000. And we don't know how many are hospitalized because of an error in reporting per the Department of Health, but they can confirm 172,000 people are recovered. The coronavirus is having an impact in a whole lot of ways, including on a lot of our waistlines.
And today, the state's top doc said people who have been working from home are seeing this too. Nancy Laughlin is live now in Northeast Albuquerque to tell us how many pounds many of us have packed on.
Too many. The state's top doctors don't usually talk about this topic during news conferences about COVID. Today, though, they did talk about weight gain. Here's a look.
We've heard about the side effects of COVID, the loss of smell, maybe taste, and a nasty cough. Another effect?
The average person gained somewhere around 1.5 to 1.8 pounds per month.
Today, the state's top docs showed the science that researchers throughout the U.S. had been tracking the weight of volunteers. What they found after a year of the pandemic?
It was tended to be a little bit lighthearted and kind of a shout out of sympathy to all of us who have been at home and can't observe the same exercise and eating habits as we would like to.
Dr. David Grace, the head of the state's Human Services Department, said folks stuck at home were more likely to gain weight in the last year.
But also it was a call to action, I hope, for most of us or many of us to rethink our exercise program, rethink our diet, and I was saying let's all get back in shape for the summer.
For months, gyms were closed and kitchens were nearby. He says this just wasn't here in New Mexico, but a trend they saw all across the U.S.
Okay, he says as more New Mexicans get vaccinated and the weather gets warmer, with the exception of today, I can tell you that right now, more people will be getting outside, working out, and taking off those COVID pounds. Live in a very cold Northeast Albuquerque, I'm Nancy Laughlin. Back to you.
Oh, Nance, stay warm. All right, to the latest on the pandemic today, 40% of New Mexicans have at least one vaccine. That's 668,000 of eligible New Mexicans, and 24% are fully vaccinated. That is 406,000 people.
Nationwide, the director of the CDC says nearly 20 million people are getting shots per week. She says we are making progress, but there is still reason to be concerned.
If we choose to invest in prevention right now, we will ultimately come out of this pandemic faster and with fewer lives lost.
The CDC says our most recent 7-day average is nearly 55,000 cases a day. That's up 3% from the week before.
On the Navajo Nation, lower numbers continue. Today, 10 cases were reported, and after a few days with no deaths, the nation reports 2 new deaths due to COVID. So far, more than 16,300 people have recovered from the virus. Here at home, we do want to remind you about our state's 2 coronavirus hotlines, so take a look at your screen. If you are sick or have symptoms, call 1-855-600-3453. The other number is for any other COVID-related issues like food assistance, 1-833-551-0518. Remember, we always have these posted on KOAT.com as well.
Many of us may have had a rude awakening because of that wind overnight. You can see the wind taking down this tree on top of a fence on Spain Road near Juan Tabo Boulevard.
But take a look outside right now from our KOAT cam, looking like things have died down. Sunday is still looking gorgeous. As our KOAT 7 weather team predicted, a major late winter-like storm hitting the area. Chief Meteorologist Joe Diaz shows us some of the areas hit the hardest.
That's right, Brittany. First of all, we can show you the current radar across the region. We're dry skies because we didn't get much snow in the heart of Albuquerque, 1 to 3 inches in the foothills. But the bigger event was the blowing snow, and the winds gust up to 68 miles an hour. A few snow showers lingering right now in the Plaza of Santa Fe area, but here's the big blast. You can kind of see it eroding away after big travel problems. Interstate 25, Raton, Las Vegas, and areas from the East Mountains all the way to the Texas state line. Lots of road problems over there. And as we look at some of the snow totals, very, very impressive. First of all, as the system winds down, notice that the winter storm warnings have been allowed to expire. However, there's still some potential for some slick and snowy roads and some slick travel throughout areas around Silver City on into Ruidoso and Cloudcroft. So that winter weather advisory continues there until we get to about midnight tonight. Now, Sena, which is about 30 miles to the south of Las Vegas, 19 inches of snow, a tremendous snowstorm. Taos Key Valley, 17 inches, 16 inches in Gascon and Mora County. We have Las Vegas and Sandia Park, 9 inches. Ski Santa Fe and Los Alamos, 7 inches of snow. We were 20 degrees below normal, the high of 43 here in Albuquerque, but that 68-mile-per-hour wind gust did some damage in many areas on the east side of town. We'll show you more about still an active pattern coming up in my KOAT 7 weather forecast.
And we're continuing to learn more about the victims of Monday's mass shooting at that Boulder grocery store.
We also know the suspect will make his first court appearance tomorrow morning. The suspect faces 10 counts of murder. This is him on your screen. Also, a motive still unclear. When police were able to get him into custody, instead of answering questions, he asked to speak with his mom. One shopper live streaming as the gunman walked up and down the aisle shooting, leaving family members of the victims watching from their homes.
We're watching it on my phone as the police are just getting there. And, we're horrified.
That's terrible. In all, 10 people were killed, ranging in age from 20 years old to a 65-year-old grandmother.
Another of those victims, Boulder police officer Eric Talley, who went to high school here in Albuquerque.
He cared about this community. He cared about Boulder Police Department. He cared about his family. And he was willing to die to protect others. And he didn't have to go into policing. He had a profession before this, but he felt a higher calling.
A memorial continues to grow around Officer Talley's car. His mother, who we spoke with yesterday, says her son was a devoted Catholic and father to 7 kids.
2 mass shootings less than a week apart have the gun debate going on Capitol Hill. In the Atlanta spa shootings, investigators now say the gunman bought the weapon the same day he used it. Last month, the House passed 2 major bipartisan bills to expand background checks. While Senate Republicans have largely opposed those House bills, some GOP members are saying they may be open to improvements in the background check system.
There are a lot of people who've been adjudged in a court of law, mentally danger to themselves or others, that are not in the current background system.
We all want our lives and our country to return to normal, but not this normal. Oh no. Not the normal that accepts everyday gun violence as a matter of course.
During his campaign, President Biden did say he was in favor of banning the assault rifle.
Security remains a top priority on Capitol Hill, but today some of the measures that were put in place after the January 6th insurrection have begun to ease. Matt Pritchard gives us a closer look.
I'm here on Capitol Hill where security remains heightened at this point. You can see behind me here fencing is still up and there are still some National Guard troops hovering about. But the U.S. Capitol Police saying today that they're actually dialing back their security efforts. You can see the outer perimeter fencing has been taken down at this point. You also see these cars coming by. That's because these roads are open for the first time, despite the fencing coming down, the barbed wire, and opening up these roads. They are ready to ramp up security at a moment's notice if the moment calls for it, but they're continuing to have conversation with law enforcement and lawmakers about how to go forward with securing the Capitol right now. Republicans and Democrats debating how much is needed and how to go forward in the future. As that debate unfolds, again, the fencing remains, a few National Guard troops remain, but things are starting to ease here on Capitol Hill, almost 3 months since the January insurrection on January 6th. In Washington, I'm Matt Pritchard.
A New Mexico school district with a futuristic way to keep its schools clean when students return, how the robots will work.
Plus, the New Mexico United bringing in a new coach to help with the academy, and he comes with a championship pedigree.
And the birth rate is down in the U.S. and many other countries. So what are the reasons for couples not bringing babies into the world?
Let's get a check on traffic. Why it's 7 now. Here's Kiki Garcia.
Well, we still have that crash lead at Cornell. Be aware of that. Other than that, though, no other crashes to report. It is still a little busy, though, as you make your way to the west side on Paseo as well as Alameda. For News Radio 96.3 FM, I'm Kiki Garcia for Traffic Watch 7.
Check your drive times right now. It is 8 minutes Alameda from I-25 to Coors, 6 minutes from Paseo to I-25 to Coors, and from Montano from I-25 to Coors, it's 9 minutes.
Before we head to break, we do want to give you a live look from Sky 7 over a film shoot right now in Albuquerque. We're not sure what's being shot. We do know this is near Dr. Martin Luther King and Edith, but take a look. Film crew is hard at work here in the Duke City. We'll be right back.
KOAT Action 7 News.
Schools in New Mexico are supposed to return to in-person learning by April 5th.
The Biden administration says it is rushing billions of dollars in aid to states to help schools reopen for in-person learning. That money coming from the American Rescue Plan. Money is a major factor in getting kids back in the classroom, school districts say, to modify classrooms for physical distancing, improve ventilation, and buy more PPE. There is even more high-tech now in Gallup-McKinley County schools, and we're not talking about improved Wi-Fi for remote learning.
As Doug Fernandez shows us, robots will be making sure the classrooms and schools are safe for your kids.
Dozens of robots are now rolling around Gallup-McKinley County schools, cleaning your kids' classrooms and campuses.
We were really looking for a higher level of cleanliness for our schools. And a long-term solution.
It is costing the district $2.6 million for its 32 schools and 2 administration buildings, and they're using federal funds to pay for 37 robots.
We train the custodial staff to do the operation of the robot.
Andy Molnar with UVD Robot says the original design was for use in hospitals.
The robot will disinfect surfaces and it will disinfect the air as well. And it doesn't just do it when it's stopped, it does it as it's moving.
With the state allowing all kids back starting April 5th, Superintendent Hyatt knew he had to do everything he could to keep them safe.
We as a district have strived to go above and beyond what the Department of Health has been requiring for schools to open.
The robots clean using UV light. There is no spray or chemicals coming from the device, so it's not harmful to anything or anyone.
It's unique, I believe, in New Mexico, and it's just going to benefit our students and their education.
Doug Fernandez, KOAT Action 7 News.
The plan is for the robots to only be used after hours once the janitorial staff is trained.
Southwest Airlines announcing a change to the way passengers board today. Take a live look at the Sunport right now, and the next time you fly, it may be a little more crowded as you wait. The airline saying it will now go back to the normal boarding process. It had been boarding people in groups of 10 since, as part of the safety protocol since May. Southwest is not the first to make the change. JetBlue resumed normal boarding earlier this month.
We may soon start seeing a population decrease in many major countries, including the United States. Action 7 News anchor Todd Kurtz takes a look at the declining baby boom across the globe.
Yeah, research shows women are having fewer children than any time on record. The fertility rate in the United States is now at 1.705. That's the average number of babies each woman in the U.S. will have in her lifetime. So experts say to sustain population, the number needs to be at 2.1. In 2019, there were 3.74 million babies born in the U.S. Sounds like a large number. Well, it's not. That was a 35-year low. And it's not just here. Britain, Canada, France, and Australia all have fertility rates below 1.9. So why is this happening? Well, experts say it's complex, but here are the top reasons. Women are having their first child later in life. The cost of housing has recently skyrocketed. Teenage births have plunged, and there may be fewer births after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we mentioned more women having their first child later in life, subsequently not having as many. Average age for a woman's first birth in the United States in 2018 was 26.9 years old. That's a record high. Researchers believe 300,000 to 500,000 fewer babies are going to be born after the pandemic as well. They believe the economic hardship discouraged many young couples from having kids. Todd Kurtz, KOAT, Action 7 News.
New Mexico with some wild weather today, and for some, it was the wind waking them up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it for sure woke me up. So for others, there was snow and slick roads. In Las Vegas, take a look at this. City crews working to keep the local roads clear, while New Mexico Department of Transportation crews took care of the highways. Lots of snow there. The mayor says he didn't mind the later winter storm.
Las Vegas is very unique in that we rely on the Gainas River for our water source. And so the surface water, the accumulation of snow and rain is so important to our community. So I consider this a big blessing.
The mayor also says storms like this help out the town's businesses since people often stop traveling and grab a room for the night and some food.
Oof. Look at all that snow. I know Shelley and our photojournalist Jeff were out there in the elements all morning. That was a lot of snow.
Yeah, it looks like 7 to 9 inches, pretty common across the city over there.
Whew, we sure need it.
Yeah, I know. And it's nice because people in Las Vegas, they welcome the snow because they use it for drinking water when it melts and goes into Story Lake and other areas. So it's really a blessing for them. As the mayor said, okay, as we look outside right now, you can see we have skies trying to clear from the west. But here's the deal, where you have this winter-like storm moving out, but a variety variety of weaker weather systems will be following, and it's going to take a while before we get conditions close to where they should be for this time of year, but that'll be happening even above normal temperatures as we get into early next week. Okay, check it out tomorrow. Colder than normal, 28 degrees, all right? So you're going to have to bundle up, layer up. I know you don't think about doing that this time of the year, but that will be the case. Notice how the clouds will start to thicken in the afternoon. Okay, that being the case, we'll have the breezes start to increase as another weather system passes, and as it passes, there could be a brief rain or evening snow shower around. So this is the typical type of system we see normally in the month of March. Now, we do have the wet ground, we do have temperatures below freezing, and we do have some snow on the ground, so look for some patchy freezing fog, especially eastern and northern parts of the state. So be alert for that in the morning, along with the slick roads, as temperatures are going to be pretty cold. And here's the thickening clouds I was talking about, and a couple of showers around Albuquerque, Santa Fe, some snows to the north. That kind of scoots across. We're between weather systems for the most part on Friday with a mixture of clouds and sunshine around. However, going into the weekend from Interstate 40 northward, not much moisture, but another disturbance will spread a few limited rain and mountain snow showers around from the southwest on into that I-40 corridor before it clears out for the upcoming weekend. So the 7-day forecast looks like this. Breezy with a spot shower around in the afternoon into the evening, kind of between weather systems for Friday. Saturday, here we go again. Maybe just a brief shower in the afternoon with a few clouds, but sunshine and 63, right where we should be for this time of year. And then ahead of a warm, dry system Monday into Tuesday, winds will kick up Tuesday. Temperatures will drop behind it on Wednesday. But, today it was 43 degrees. We had a lot to talk about today. First of all, 20 degrees above normal, the cloud cover, the wet ground, the snow in the foothills. First time it was blowing sideways, and the dangerous winds that they had on the eastern part of town, bringing down some trees and power lines.
Yeah, those winds, at least in my neighborhood, I heard them all night. They were loud.
Yeah, we knew it was coming, and it did deliver just as we expected, and they were potentially dangerous because we had a lot of tree limbs and power outages and some big trees coming down as well.
I didn't hear them at all. I guess I just...
Well, you know what? You just got to be downwind from Tejada's Canyon. You hear it pretty well, but I don't hear it in my house. I don't hear it in my house either, but it did keep the snow away from my house.
Joe, thank you.
You bet.
The New Mexico Youth Soccer World knows him well, and soon so with the New Mexico United. The new coach joined the squad.
All right, we're going to give you another live look outside from Sky 7. How about this? A film shoot happening right now in the Duke City. Again, if you're just joining us, this is off Martin Luther King and Edith. But hey, filming is alive and well in the Duke City. You can see lots of folks out there. Pretty exciting. We'll be right back.
KOAT Action 7 News.
The New Mexico United have signed a new coach, and he'll be a familiar name to those on the pitch. Lucian Starzinski, seen here getting the water cooler treatment, will serve as the head academy scout for the upcoming season. He's been a staple in the youth soccer community for nearly 2 decades, including a 12-year stretch as head coach of the Albuquerque High School boys soccer team that included multiple championships.
Now to the other kind of football. Action 7 News will be your home for the entire NFL draft next month. Round 1 of the draft is Thursday, April 29th. Rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, and 4 through 7 wrapping up the draft on Saturday, May 1st. We'll be right back.
And here's a Doppler radar estimate of how much snow was falling. And for days, we've been telling you that the east winds would probably be so strong that we'd have the canyon winds giving us a snow hole, meaning the canyon winds blow so hard it keeps the snow from accumulating, and it piles up to the west where the travel is difficult, and to the east where some dicey travel as well. And you can see we had pretty good snow accumulations to the north and to the east, so this was a very significant March snowstorm for us so late in the season. Brittany and Ron, back to you.
All right, Joe, thanks. Remember, you can get news as it happens on your KOAT app.
We'll see you at 10.